My friends, essential oils are everywhere and have been everywhere for quite some time. But I want to talk about a question that I get often, which is why in the world do essential oils actually work? What makes them work? Why does the aromatic piece work from a scientific standpoint? Well, here's the interesting aspect is whenever we use our senses, right? Our touch, our sight, taste, whatever the sense may be, that message, right? Let's say I touch something, the message goes through what we call the thalamus, which is like the switchboard. And it's a relay center within the brain, within the body. What's interesting is smell does not. It bypasses what we call the thalamus. And so when we smell essential oils, the interesting part of that is they naturally bypass the thalamus and go directly to what we call the HPA axis, or aspects of the limbic system. The hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenals, right? These different areas, they engage directly. And so oftentimes what's really happening is we may smell an oil and the body's receiving the message before an actual thought can even be formed. It is so fast. So it bypasses that thalamus piece. The thalamus is that thought aspect saying, where should this go? It completely bypasses that and goes to what we call the hypothalamus, that is somewhat of what we call like the thermostat, or even if we looked at it from a city standpoint, it would be like the city manager. And just wondering, being that hinge point of where it's going to go next. Then we look at the pituitary. The pituitary is the one who amplifies that message. And then next, we look at what we call the adrenals. I'm trying to give this to you in a somewhat of a simplified state, but a way that you can understand and watch this pathway. Because, again, adrenals, we have the hypothalamus, then we have the pituitary, and then we have the adrenals. They don't judge whether or not a message is coming. They just know a message is coming and they go to work. They're kind of like our first responders. They're not going to argue with the idea of they're being called out. They just go. So one of the biggest challenges we experience is when we live in a state of constant threat, or when we feel like we're in constant threat. Chronic stress is another way to put that. Then those first responders get worn out. One of the fastest ways we can aid those first responders and aid the body is, again, through essential oils. Every oil goes through the same olfactory pathway, but depending on the oils in the bottle will determine the message. Let's talk about that for a minute. We just released a new blend called I Am Safe. So I Am Safe is an essential oil blend that I formulated to address the central nervous system, to assist it from 3 different pathways. Here's what I mean by that. Let's look at this. So we have bergamot, which is a citrus oil, but it also has high amounts of linalool and linalool acetate. And so what those chemical constituents are doing is they're giving a message of calm and helping the amygdala, the fight or flight mechanism, saying, hey, we don't need to be, there's no fire right now. We don't need to be freaking out. So we address the central nervous system from the amygdala. Second, we're looking at copaiba. And copaiba is a resin, right? Like frankincense. It's from a tree, and it's like a sap-like substance. And it has something called beta-caryophyllene, or BCP. And it engages with another thing called the endocannabinoid system, which is throughout the body. It's a network throughout the body, and it can be helpful or assist in things like neurological inflammation and cellular inflammation, and provides a calming effect. So, okay, number 1, the bergamot's helping calm the central nervous system, right? Through the amygdala, through that olfactory piece. Copaiba is also doing it through beta-caryophyllene, which engages the endocannabinoid system. Then we have the third ingredient, which is Roman chamomile. And Roman chamomile also can engage what we would consider to be the amygdala, but also the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs through the body. It's the longest nerve in the body, and it's important because it helps us to reach what we call a parasympathetic state. Or that state, you know how our heart just continues to beat whether we tell it to or not? That's a parasympathetic effect from the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve goes through the lungs, the heart, the lungs, the gut, all the way down, all the way down to the end of the body. And it's key when we engage that nerve, we can experience greater peace, greater calm, and greater safety, right? The body has to feel safe for it to begin to release the stress. So one of the ways we help the body is throughout the day, we utilize and apply I am safe. How would someone apply this? Because we're working with the central nervous system, we can do it on the back of the neck, easy. We can do it across the top of the chest. And here what we're doing, again, we're engaging even that vagus nerve and other aspects of what I talked about. You can even do it behind the ears to engage. But that aroma, the second, even though we're applying this topically, the second your body gets that aroma, it will shift. The mind will shift. That's the beauty of aroma. That's why the aromatic profiles of essential oils are so powerful. And where this becomes so important is essential oils are made up of the same chemistry as our body, a lot of carbon and water. When we smell synthetics, like when we're walking through the mall, we're walking through someone's house even, oftentimes it's really strong. One of the reasons why it's so strong is our body is trying to pull it apart and process it and say, what am I supposed to do with this? It's a different language. Synthetics are a completely different language than what our body's used to. It's not even a different dialect. It's a different language. And so it has to process that. And oftentimes it's a threat. Whereas an essential oil is not a threat. The body understands it, understands the molecules, all of that. And so again, back to this olfactory pathway, when we smell an essential oil, the reason why it can create an effect is because of the message based on the molecules and chemical constituents in that oil bottle. So this is I am safe. Now let's take mental stillness, another one of our blends, really popular blend. It has an ingredient of orange oil, which helps serotonin pathways. We have lavender in this one, which helps our GABA receptors, one of the main calming aspects of the body. GABA. It's absolutely amazing. It also has copaiba, so it engages the ECS, again, like we talked about, cellular inflammation. The other piece is it has petitgrain. And petitgrain is helping calm the autonomic nervous system. Or in other words, again, it's helping to calm the fire, the idea of a fire, due to the chemical constituents. But what's different between this, I am safe, and mental stillness, is I am safe is seeking to create a place of safety throughout the day, emotionally. Mental stillness is striving to create space for the body to calm and work. So I like this one more towards the evening. I can use it any time of the day. If your mind tends to loop a little bit, this is one that's great. But I like it in the evening because it's helping to create a state of space where the body can work and repair while you sleep. That's why this one's called the Calming and Sleep Blend. And this is the Protective Blend, as it seeks to protect us during the day. The oils provide that message. The single oils in the blend are those that provide the message to that through that olfactory system. But what about our I Am Strong? Here's another blend, totally different. It has grapefruit. What is grapefruit doing? Grapefruit creates momentum. It's a stimulator. So it sends the message to the hypothalamus of, hey, we need momentum. Let's get moving. Coriander, the next ingredient, is one that helps minimize the feeling of stress, therefore increasing momentum. If we can minimize stress, we can naturally increase momentum. Then we have black pepper, many other oils in this, but black pepper is one emotionally that helps us break through barriers when you feel emotionally stuck. This is one I really like. It is an oil of momentum. Again, all of these have different essential oils, but they work through this aromatic profile. And in the second video, I'm going to teach you how topical application also engages us in a different way. But for now, just remember, when we smell something, we're bypassing the thalamus, engaging the HPA axis. That's why pure oils can be so effective in immediately helping us shift our mental state for greater health, greater hope. My friends, reach out to us at restorehopeoils.com if you have any questions, but keep smiling and leave a comment if I can help. Talk to you soon.